Good morning to you guys. Man, it is nice to be back. 2 days off. And you guys miss me already? No, I'm just joking. Really appreciate all the people who always check up whenever I'm MIA for a few days. But don't worry, I'm back. And we are live here at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. A department within Central Florida that no matter what we need as an agency or what I need as Trooper Steve in Results One, they always open their doors to me, and I could not be more appreciative of the men and women of this department. Their Sheriff Dennis Lima, the Sheriff of Seminole County, amazing individual, completely always there whenever I send a text, an email, I get a response immediately, whether it's from him directly or from their Chief of Staff, Brian. Absolutely amazing crew here, and this is why we're here today. So, as you guys know, WKMG News 6, the station I work for and the station that you guys love so much, are focusing on the 32771 zip code, and that involves a lot of the Sanford area and North Seminole County. So I reached out because I was like, hey, I want to talk about what is policing like in this community and what kind of law enforcement officers are out here patrolling, and kind of just hear it from somebody who's putting boots on the ground out here. So why not speak to a lieutenant that has about 27 years on with the department, a really great ambassador for what the Seminole County Sheriff stands for, transparency, integrity, true just community-oriented policing, but at the end of the day, don't get that confused. They are very serious about their mission, very serious about law and order, and keeping our community safe. So as a sheriff's department, or sheriff's office, excuse me, you know, there are a lot of municipalities, but that doesn't stop a sheriff's office from policing within those cities if they have to. So when I reached out, I go, look, I want to speak to someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to a lot of the things within the community. So they said, hey, I got a guy for you, and his name is Lieutenant Hawkins with the department, and he's going to be the guy that you talk to. So we're going to pick up Lieutenant Hawkins here and have a good conversation with him and see how things go. So we're going to wait right here real quick, pick up Lieutenant Hawkins, and have that discussion, because they're the ones that are actively always out here policing. So we're going to chat in just a second. But if you are joining us and you've heard a lot about this WKMG Hits the Road stuff, well, it's because we are hitting the road and coming directly to you guys. We'll talk about that a lot, but here comes LT now, jumping in the car with me. LT, welcome, sir.
Steve, how are you?
Good, sir. Come on in.
Oh, man.
Man, I just ran into your boss a second ago.
Which one?
The boss, Sheriff Lima. So, thanks for joining me, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be a good time. Let me shut these lights off before one of you guys pull me over, and then I look bad here on TV. So we're currently, I give always everybody a little layout of the land. We're live, streaming right here. I have a pretty cool setup, to the point where your boss, Sheriff Lima, called me one day and was like, hey, I need you to bring your truck by the station because I want to see the gear that you've got in here. And I was like, all right. So anything that's currently live is right here. Okay. Cameras set up there. I've got cameras all over the place in here. And we'll just talk for a little bit. So how was your, I say weekend, but I just got back last night. So from vacation. I was in the Bahamas.
Oh, man. Just came back from there a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice. What was the occasion?
Just to get away.
Just to get away.
I cruise down there.
Oh, I can understand that. Yeah, we flew. It was the wife's birthday.
Oh, good.
So it took a couple of days and kind of hung out there. But flight got canceled on Monday.
No.
So I got back at like 10 o'clock last night.
Man.
To be smiling at freaking 4 o'clock in the morning today. So yeah, a little Celsius. I don't do the coffee much. I do highly caffeinated tea.
Okay, yeah.
So, but it's like, I should be a spokesperson for these people because I'm obsessed with it. I've been trying to pawn it off on all these folks that I work with. And they're like, Steve, where'd you get this herbal tea? And I was like, no. It's legal. I promise. And I was like, all right, relax. So, first, how long you been with the sheriff's office?
Total of about little more than 27 years, I believe. 24, just a little over 24, has been as a deputy sheriff.
Man, so where'd you start out at?
The dispatch.
Dispatch.
Yeah.
So do you feel, at least I feel, do you feel being a dispatcher prior to getting sworn in? It's probably one of your guys. Has made you a better law enforcement officer?
I think there's actually a lot that goes into that.
Okay.
Definitely starting out where I did helped me understand the agency better, understand the culture and the inner workings and report systems and whatnot. But it also helped me kind of get to know people a little better. I had a unique circumstance where I sort of grew up in the agency. So
explain that a little bit.
So my father was a deputy here. He actually retired as a sergeant back in about 2007.
Okay.
And he had been with us since about 1976. So
wow.
I had it was a very fortunate circumstance that I was in, that I was able to already have a little bit of an inner working. But coming here to work was definitely an eye opener, and but it definitely helped me get a little more prepared for what was to come.
So when you left dispatch and you started patrol, obviously, walk me through that a little bit. Where did your patrol world kind of take you? Where were you first assigned?
So I've always worked midnights.
Are you a night creature? Do you enjoy the midnight shift?
I've always worked nights. I've always liked it. But I actually started down in the east side of the county, the Howe Branch Road 436 corridor. I spent a little bit of time there when I was released from field training before moving back up here to the north end of the county, where I spent a couple years. Then I went and worked the Altamont Springs area before moving into investigations.
So I'm noticing, because I like to break it down for viewers that speak no law enforcement language.
Right.
And me being a cop and a news anchor, it's kind of a fun little world I get to play. So you labeled and you named municipalities, and I think a lot of people get confused by that because it's like, wait, but he's a sheriff's deputy.
Right.
And it's like, well, the sheriff's office can kind of do what they want anywhere in the county, even if it is within a city. You are kind of the backup to them as well.
Yeah, I think what's important for people to realize is the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer in the county. He's elected by the people, and for that 4 years, he ultimately is the conservator of the peace for the entire county.
Right.
But there's one thing that we wholeheartedly believe in, and it's having relationships, with our municipal partners. So, for instance, I have the north end of the county, so my responsibilities are administrative oversight for what we call the North Region, and that's areas that include Sanford, Lake Mary, portions of Longwood and Winter Springs.
Big chunk of property.
Yeah, and as well as the Sanford Airport. But each of those areas, we primarily focus on the unincorporated sections.
Right.
While obviously the cities have the incorporated, but our relationships with those leadership teams and those police officers at those different municipalities are key to what we do, and making sure that it's not an us versus them. We don't silo. Siloing is the best way to totally kill efficiency. And we really believe in working together, so that right now I could pick up the phone and call somebody I know over at Sanford Police, or they can call me, and we're all constantly offering each other help. And I think that transitions into a great benefit for the community members.
Right.
Because, frankly, I don't really think they necessarily are concerned with who comes there, as long as they get the help they need.
Right.
And if we can work together to provide collective help, I think it really helps us deliver the services that are expected in a better way. I think
that's pretty cool, because I'm sure you could attest it probably wasn't the way it is today 20 years ago.
It was. I would say it was. We've always had a really good working relationship with the cities, and that's something that was really born out of probably 2 sheriffs ago, when Sheriff Polk was in office, and then it continued to Sheriff Esslinger, and now it's with Sheriff Lema. And that's been one of the core beliefs that we have, is that we've got to be working together if we're really going to have an effective impact on not just crime, but the problems that affect our society here locally.
So when you guys say you're working with other agencies, I will say you guys have a pretty serious approach to community outreach.
We do.
Whether it's not always just the popping up and putting a tent up. You guys are in these communities, knocking on doors, whether it's your community relations, whether it's some of your undercover units and stuff. You guys are truly everywhere, and it's part of the reason when I started this, the stream, I talked about how you guys are complete open book here at the Sheriff's Office. If I call, I always get a response. If I need someone to talk to, whether they're voluntold, and then I get someone like you, and they get into the truck. But it's pretty amazing that, so my background, obviously a trooper, and there wasn't, during the whole George Zimmerman issue in Sanford, we got pulled in as troopers, but you guys were there, boots on the ground, right when we arrived. And it seemed that the community was really excited that you guys were there as well. There wasn't a bad blood about anything, and I think that's a testament to how much you guys are doing. So within your responsibility of the northern sector, you said you're part of the admin commander. What does that mean?
So basically, I have administrative oversight of what we would consider our forward-facing operations. So, you know, patrol, your traditional law enforcement. We have a traffic safety contingent. We also have a code enforcement contingent because the sheriff is responsible for addressing certain code violations in the county. And we also have an investigative component that they primarily investigate property crimes and certain persons crimes. We're really, you know, one of the things about what we do, you mentioned that we're involved in the community wholeheartedly at the very core of who we are, not just what we are, is community policing, or what some of us like to call neighborhood policing.
The name has a few different titles to it.
And you can only accomplish that is if you are as decentralized as possible. So you can't consolidate all your resources in one building in one place and expect to have an impact in the community. So we decentralized the majority of what we do. So patrol, those types of investigations, you know, our traffic safety is not centralized. They're actually embedded in the different regions, in those communities where they are, because at the end of the day, that helps us sort of get immersed in those communities, the cultures of those communities, and helps us really understand better.
I've had a lot of command staff where you're sitting doing interviews, and no one has explained traffic safety the way you just did. Because for me, I am obviously a nerd when it comes to traffic safety, but it's crazy when you sometimes speak to other agencies about traffic safety, and they're just like, oh yeah, Motors handles that. But you guys seem to have a knowledge of it is within each sector, everyone has their hands on that, whether it's kind of important to them or not. Because let's be real, not every lieutenant is a traffic guy, not every sergeant is a traffic guy, but you guys take that as a priority throughout the county.
We do, and you know, the majority of the complaints I get on a regular basis are traffic related. Neighborhood speeding, people that aren't stopping for certain stop signs, whatever the case may be. And, you know, if we have somewhere around 60 to 65 deputies on the road total, I think, across the region. And
At any given time?
I think I may be a little off on the numbers there, but somewhere upwards of 60 deputies assigned to each of the regions total.
Wow.
So we believe that we actually have that many traffic safety deputies, not just the people that work the motorcycles.
I like that.
So, you know,
because let's be real, I'll call deputies in other counties and they're like, I ain't working that mess, I ain't touching that. But you guys take a very proactive, like, listen, see something, do something about it.
Yeah, and we really are focused, because traffic safety is a concern for our community, and if it's a concern for them, it's a concern for us. So much so, you know, we continue those partnerships by being involved in what's sort of a hybrid of a task force, if you will, in the county, which involves Seminole County Traffic Engineering, Florida Department of Transportation, the Florida Highway Patrol, and all our municipal partners as well, the Sheriff's Office. We all come together and come up with different ideas on how we can resolve an issue. So,
what would you say is the driver to why this is happening in your area? What I mean by that is, like, why is there a reason that you guys are as focused to what the community wants? Because I'll be real, I don't hear this all the time. This is not as important to other agencies as it is to you guys when it comes to what some might think is the little stuff. Oh, well, our sheriff's office is here to investigate serious crimes and stuff like that, but you guys are focused on everything. What would be the driving force behind that?
Because it's the right thing to do. You know, at the end of the day, if you think about it. If your car gets broken into, or if someone shouts at you in traffic or whatever, at that moment, that is the most important thing going on in your life. And if it's important to you, it's important to us, and we want to do what we can to help resolve it. If you have an issue in your neighborhood that's becoming a problem, and it's negatively impacting the quality of life in that neighborhood, that's important to you and your neighbors, so it's important to us. And we're not just focused on driving around, taking reports, putting people in jail, and writing tickets. That could be the farthest thing from what we do on a daily basis. Our focus is problem solving. Our focus is understanding the concerns.
I'll plug us. Your focus is getting results.
Getting results, yes. But our focus is really about understanding what the concerns of the business owners and the residences are, so that we can really focus our attention to fix those problems. And that's why, we oftentimes, we don't necessarily consider ourselves a law enforcement agency as much as we are we're a criminal justice organization, but we're also a community-focused entity. And I think that really what's expected of your police, and if you understand, the history of, modern policing when it comes from over the seas, is the people are the police, and the police are the people. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of those folks that entrust us,
right,
with their safety.
Wow.
I personally believe that it's very important because I've seen the results of that. I know that the people I work with, let's face it, the people I work with, they do the heavy lifting.
Right.
They are, I'm blessed to be surrounded by so many dedicated and hardworking folks that really they push the mission forward, and but it's because we all collectively, wholeheartedly believe in what we're doing. And as an example, we got called here recently to join a family for a nice lady's 108th birthday party.
I was there for that.
There. And we've been doing that for about 3 years now. We've been doing drive-bys to the house on her birthday.
COVID's kind of started that.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But you know what? We are thrilled to do something, and that's not considered traditional policing.
No.
But we're thrilled to do it because it's something that's important for them, and it helps us build relationships with someone in our community, and it's relationships that are really important.
So you part of the command up here. Mm-hmm. How many people you individually supervise currently?
Oh my goodness, somewhere around, I want to say 40 to 50.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
That's a lot of folks.
It is, but like I said, I'm surrounded with great people, and it's really truly a blessing to be where I'm at.
So 27 years is no short time.
No.
You've been doing this for a minute. From then to now, and specifically Sanford.
Right.
What would you say you've seen the biggest change in the community as a whole since you were humping calls as a road deputy?
I think the most obvious thing is the growth. If you look like where we are right now here downtown along the lakefront, when I was growing up, and even as coming on as a deputy, it looked nothing like this. This condo community wasn't here. The Riverwalk wasn't here. It was just, the lake on the side of the road.
Right.
Places where, as a high schooler, my friends and I would go fish in those wooded areas. They're now housing communities.
Right.
I fished in someone's backyard, basically.
Wow.
And just seeing the growth that's happened over the last 20 to 25 years, the roadways, the amount of people. I think Sanford itself is sitting on somewhere around 60,000 residents now, and that's
nothing to what it was when you were out here.
It's definitely grown leaps and bounds. Lake Mary, Longwood, they're all showing the same trends, where everything's just expanding out west, everything's expanding out east. It's a phenomenal bit of growth that we've seen here in this area over the years, and it's great because it brings
good economy to the area, and obviously people want to live here.
Yeah, and we have so many people from so many areas, not just statewide, not just nationally, but internationally, that have moved in just into Sanford and Lake Mary and Longwood and Winter Spanish Springs that it's really awesome to see how our population has grown, how diverse it's become, and what benefits that brings to where we are.
Nice. So when it comes to crime, in Seminole County, and what is the most base level crime that you think you guys see that communities can almost prevent and they can do better to help themselves and help you guys?
Well, I say, as far as crime goes, I mean, once again, year to date, we're down in crime.
Right.
And a little plug, I'll just say it's because of the hard efforts of the people here, the deputies that are working the road, the investigators that work the cases, our folks that are going out and just interacting with people on a daily basis. I think that core component of reducing the fear of crime in our mission statement, being preventative rather than reactive, is really what brings a lot of that about. However, if you're looking at our crime overall, the majority of what we deal with is property.
Okay.
Your thefts, your burglaries, things like that. And I think we have an opportunity to prevent a lot of things, and mostly it's going to be those burglaries. We've seen a little bit of an uptick with package thefts from time to time.
Right.
It's kind of an ebbs and flows kind of thing. We don't see anything consistent or see any patterns.
I hate porch pirates. Hate them.
And I think that we've taken some unique approaches.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that to see what we can do to.
Any bait boxes out there?
We've might have delved into some certain undercover type things.
Good. No, I like this because I don't think there's no such thing as fair policing when it comes to those type of crimes.
Right.
I think law enforcement, people, well, you shouldn't be. What happens if I grab one of your bait box? Well, you're going to jail. Kind of thing. It's like you guys have to do what you have to do to stop these folks from.
And frankly, we don't. I think the other thing people need to understand is we don't just grab somebody and go. We're going to stop and talk to them. We're going to do an interview.
Right,
we're going to do an investigation to determine. Well, I keep seeing this box sitting here, so I was going to take it to the front office if that's legit and actually what's happening. Well, we'll work that out.
I like that.
And your car burglaries. We encourage people to take all the items out of their vehicles. Don't leave your purses, don't leave things. One thing that really we always need to be hitting on, people need to take their firearms out of their vehicles. Because a lot of people that break into cars are looking for firearms.
Right.
And it seems safe in your glove box or your console.
Yeah, but it's not meant to be left sitting around.
Exactly. And so people I don't want to throw any type of shade, if you will, on anyone who's actually been a victim where fire's been stolen. But we got to encourage people: take your guns out of your cars, secure them properly in your homes. There's a lot of different ways, from trigger locks to certain safes and whatnot. But we got to do what we can to keep these weapons out of the hands of the criminals. And I think that's one of the big areas we start.
I think also you guys, I got to, about 2 years ago, I got to come over and got the red carpet treatment from you guys. But the biggest thing is what you guys are doing for opioid and mental health prevention.
Yes.
I got a tour of the facility that you guys have.
Yep.
There is an acronym I think you guys use for the team that's involved in a lot of the undercover stuff, but also rehabilitation and awareness. You don't see that a lot. I don't think a lot of police departments feel that that's part of the responsibility, but that's part of also the protecting of people, is to making sure they don't reoffend, and then they've got actual resources. You guys have clinicians on property.
We do.
Which is mind-blowing, because I got to meet some of the staff and some of the agents that are involved, and they're truly in it to win it kind of thing.
Oh, without a doubt. And you talked about what's changed. And over the last almost 25 years, one thing that's changed for us is not only what we do and how we do it. Community policing, neighborhood policing will always be at the kind of the forefront of what we do. It's that umbrella that we operate under.
Okay.
But when I started, mental health awareness was important to us. Going back to 1998, I believe it was, when Deputy Gene Gregory was killed.
Okay.
He was shot and killed by an individual who's experiencing a mental health crisis. His wife Linda and the gunman's sister actually got together with Sheriff Esslinger and lobbied for legislative changes to help enhance our Baker Act laws and really
talk about two worlds coming together opposite to make some kind of change.
And I that's where you see that good coming out of a bad situation. We've been dealing with violent encounters with people in mental health crises for a long time. I go back to the 70s. About 1977, we had 2 deputies shot by an individual who had just come back from Vietnam and was going through a very serious mental health crisis at the time. He actually murdered his father during that incident.
Man.
So it's something that we are very familiar with, unfortunately. But
have you seen the results since the start of the approach of this type of outreach and what you guys are doing? Because it's not cheap, and the sponsors are there for you guys. Obviously, they see the results that are happening.
So for mental health, I don't think that we are 1 minute at a loss there. I think that every person that we can affect and touch is somebody that is going to, hopefully have a positive result or a positive outcome there. And we've done something good with the community, not for the community. And we even every deputy goes through crisis intervention training.
Okay.
We don't just believe in siloing it into one area. We think that every single deputy should have the training and the understanding of how to interact with people who are dealing with, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Because sometimes that's only offered for the patrol guys. Yeah. So every sworn individual within the sheriff's office receives this training.
Yeah, and we have a great partnership with Aspire.
Okay.
We have for years. And so we wholeheartedly believe in that mental health, so much so that we actually do have what's called a behavioral services unit. And they're focused more on those specific longer-term situations where maybe we come alongside a family and help them with something that's going on, or we have this person that we keep interacting with. A lot of it's homelessness, and we work to get them whatever resources we can help get them to kind of bring stability to their lives. Then you transition over, you mentioned the opioids, and I think that's one of the biggest changes that I've seen is how we deal with this. I started when crack was still the thing.
Right.
And if you catch somebody with some cocaine on them, we put them in handcuffs and we took them to jail.
And that was it.
And we expected to fix the problem. Well, you're not going to arrest your way out of a problem. We've obviously seen. But with these opioids, it's something that, the overdoses and the deaths from the overdoses is something I don't think we've ever seen. I for sure don't ever remember seeing something so significant. And when we...
It is pretty intense.
Yeah, and when we switched from understanding this, if you have someone who's addicted or dependent on these substances, simply putting them in jail is not going to do anything to help.
Because they're just going to reoffend.
Exactly. So what we believe and we really push forward with is treating it more as an illness than a crime. So because
it sounds like a logical thing.
Well, it's physiologically, it's psychologically damaging to a person, and when you understand the impact of those addictions, you understand why people can't just kick the habit.
Right.
So
do you guys receive education on that as well?
We do. But one thing that we have, I think we've been the first agency in the nation to dedicate a portion of our correctional facility to rehabilitation.
I saw it.
So
it was impressive.
Yeah, we called it OPOD. It was for the male inmates, and now we've opened up APOD for the females, and it's all intensive, kind of inpatient, if you will, treatment that involves group therapy and certain medically assisted recovery efforts. And
it was some of the most positive inmates I ever met.
Well, it's funny because I know of 2 who were in jail and due to be released that actually sent letters to their judge that asked that they remain. They said basically,
to keep getting the help.
We're not ready to get out. And I don't know of anyone that's ever actually said, can you please keep me in jail? But that's the impact of this.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. And frankly, then we have the Seminole Collaborative Opioid Response Effort Group, or we call them SCORE. They're a unit of people that they don't investigate drug crimes. They actually, they help folks who've overdosed get the services they need to try and help them break that dependency.
Wow.
And I think we have seen the effects of that. We're sitting on yet another decrease in overdoses this year to date from last year, decrease in the number of deaths. So we're seeing these impacts.
That the work is proving itself.
Yeah, and I think it's not just us. I mean, we have partnerships with Advent Health,
right,
who has taken a real forward-leaning role in leadership and walking with us to help bring folks to where they need to be.
I'm specifically driving back here because I don't think anybody in their life has seen a medical sponsor on a sheriff's office property.
Yes.
And I want that to be shown because you just mentioned Advent Health.
Yeah.
And this is right here.
So this is our Hope and Healing Center. Soon it will be moving. We're going to have a bigger facility, and this is where Advent Health works out of to help people get on the road to recovery. But one thing that's so super important, it's in a sheriff's office or a county building. Yes. It's right across the street from our jail. Yes. However, we are not directly influencing what's going on here.
Explain that.
Well, we also understand that sometimes when people think that the police are involved in something, it may make them apprehensive to come and get the help they need.
Okay.
And we want people to understand that although, yes, we have a partnership with Advent Health, although, yes, they're in one of our buildings, Advent Health is doing the work there. The Advent Health folks are actually getting the people the help they need. So we want people to feel comfortable coming here knowing the police aren't watching you, the police aren't watching the facility, that you can freely go in there and get the help you need without that barrier of your concern that law enforcement
Like the cops are always watching kind of thing.
And I think that's huge in what people understand about that facility. And we're here to help. And when you talk about SCORE, when you talk about the Behavioral Services Unit, one of the biggest things is coming alongside family members who have a loved one who's dealing with mental health crisis or an addiction to some sort of substance. And, because the system is vast and there are a lot of different inner workings to the two different systems.
Okay.
Our folks that are in those units know the systems. They have the relationships with the people that work in the system. So
that's what they do every day.
Yeah, we can come alongside those families who otherwise would have no clue on how to navigate it, and we actually walk with them and help them, understand.
That doesn't happen in the government world very often.
Well, like I said at the beginning, we believe in not just partnering, but having relationships with members of our community. And if we have all this knowledge and all these contacts, all these resources, why are we not putting those things to use to help other people?
Right.
And at the end of the day, I think that's what it boils down to, is we want to just help people. We want to help our communities because it's the right thing to do.
So where do you see Seminole County and policing 10 years from now?
I see us, continue to move forward. I really hope that we see ourselves coming out of, this opioid crisis and really seeing new and continue to see those untraditional ways that we deal with things. I see technology being at the forefront of what we do. Technology has already advanced in quite a significant way, and we've really tried to leverage as much of that as we can, whether it be analytical programs to help us understand crime better so that we can direct our resources, or our camera systems that really give us a platform that we can do a lot of things with. So I really see technology being huge for us. I know that the big talk of the town is, AI.
Right.
What that looks for us, I don't quite know yet, but I'm sure there's going to be some influence of that in there. And really, where we're going to be in 5 to 10 years is constantly moving forward, but also keeping focused on what we've always been doing. And that is because at the end of the day, you can have all the technology and all the resource and everything, but if you're not taking care of the people who expect you to take care of them, we're doing no good.
Right, you're not going to get anywhere with that.
At the end of the day, for us, it's all about the people that live in and work and visit our communities.
Well, I'll be honest, this is probably one of the best kind of community-oriented interviews I've had, because you guys do practice what you preach. You guys are out there all the time, whether it's the big sanctioned events, whether it's taking care of your folks and having a chili cook-off here in the parking lot. I've been to 2 of those, and that's always a good time. Or it's seeing you guys involved with a 108-year-old's birthday, or out just trying to help those who are in some type of mental health crisis or even an addiction crisis, which sometimes is both.
Yeah.
And they go hand in hand. LT, I want to thank you.
Steve, appreciate
for
you
joining me today.
Sure
I know you're a little apprehensive about getting in the truck with me, especially most people are like, what do you mean? This is live? And I go, yes. So we're going to be streaming to everybody. I know they have it playing actually in the comm office.
I'm excited about
that. So you'll probably be razzed for the rest of the day. But before we sign off, guys, huge shout out to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Dennis Lima, for allowing this to happen. Lieutenant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so now that this went so well, do expect I'll be reaching out again at some point. But guys, we will be live today. Do the plug for WKMG Hits the Road. This is why LT is in the vehicle with us today, focusing on northern Seminole County, 32771, that Sanford area. Although, you know, doesn't work for Sanford Police Department, being part of the Sheriff's Office does include the entire county and making sure everyone's okay. We will be live for the entire evening broadcast tonight at Hollerbox. Believe it or not, we've booked that place out. So from 4 to 7 tonight, our entire evening newscast will happen right there tonight. They're out there setting it up right now. Kind of a crazy experience. We did it last month in East Orange County, and it turned out to be huge. No local news has ever done anything like this before. And then, of course, I will be out there with the truck from 4 to 7. So make sure you come on by, check it out. For now, we're going to let you guys out of here and enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safely, as always. Wear your seatbelts, or traffic units will find you. Or maybe I'll find you. Who knows? Whoever's 10-8 first. You guys take it easy. Have a safe day. And as always, keep with us over at clickorlando.com. And make sure you follow Seminole County Sheriff's Office on all their platforms. They're everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Not sure if you guys have a TikTok or not. I'm not sure if Bob's a TikTok guy. Yeah. I don't see him being a TikTok guy, but hey, everyone gets the information out there. For now, live here at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, you guys have a great day.